Journey to the South Pole from the last camp is 1,100 kilometres in temperatures below 50 degrees centigrade. And if that doesn't sound grueling enough, imagine doing this for weeks whilst carrying almost 100 kilos of equipment. Well, that's what Scott Sears wants to do. And if he's successful, he'll be the youngest person in the world to have crossed Antarctica to reach the South Pole completely solo. Earlier I spoke to him, and here's how he says he's preparing for this challenge.
So I start 1,100 kilometres away from the pole, actually off the continent on the sea ice, and then from there I head south completely by myself each day, skiing for about 10 to 12 hours a day. And as I get closer to the pole, that's where it will really start getting down to about -50, possibly -60.
Obviously, you've had to do a lot of preparation for this. Talk us through it.
So basically, for 2 years, I've been planning and training for the expedition, and so I'm still in the military now, and in all my leave periods, I've been going off into the Arctic or Norway by myself, sort of test all the equipment, and learn how to sort of survive in those environments by myself.
And no doubt your military background has obviously helped you, because you've had to remain quite fit and healthy. We were just looking at some pictures actually of you training. Yeah,
so I've been based with the 1st Battalion, the Royal Gurkha Rifles, actually out in Borneo for the last sort of 2 years, which is not the ideal location to be preparing for -40. It's actually over 40 degrees there usually most of the time. So I've been having to use everything I can out there, dragging tyres up and down the beach to build up my muscles. It's a very different set of muscles than you're used to. But thankfully, you know, with the Gurkhas, they're so fit that I have to keep up with them all the time anyway. So I've been staying straight.
And as you say, it's not the most ideal place to prepare yourself for it. How will you keep warm, for example?
So I was working in the UK with the Shackleton company. We managed to design this jacket that's good down to about -60 degrees Celsius. So when I stop, for example, to have snacks in the day, where usually you can only stop for a couple of minutes, I can sit for sort of 10 or 15 minutes in this jacket and be able to get my food down me, and it'll keep me safe.
And what sort of food would you be eating on this kind of journey?
So in the evenings, in the mornings, I eat a dehydrated meal, and then throughout the day I basically have to try and take on up to 10,000 calories, which I'll be burning per day. So it's chocolate, salami, cheeses and nuts and those sorts of things.
And how will you keep in touch with people?
Like a true millennial, I'll take my iPhone with me, which I can actually hook up to a sat phone, and I'll be able to update my Instagram every day with pictures from the ice at Antarctic_Gurkha.
And what about you know, your safety and security, because you're out there completely on your own?
That's right, yeah. I actually have a tracker on me at all times. There's an ops room who can always see where I am, and every day I have to give them a call and let them know my location. And if something does go wrong, they'll be watching me, and they can sort of send someone out to help me.
And you know, we said there in the intro, if you are successful, you'll be the youngest person in the world who's done it.
Yeah, so the current record is just under 30, so 29, about 300 days. So if I was lucky enough to get there, I'll be the youngest person ever.
Incredible. And you're actually doing this for a fundraiser? You're not just randomly? Yeah,
that's right. I was in Nepal in 2015 when the earthquake hit, so I'm hoping to raise £25,000 for the Gurkha Trust, which is the charity that looks after my soldiers and their families. And the main goal is to rebuild a school in the district of Gurkha after Rifleman Suraj, who was the last member of 9 Platoon, which was the platoon that I took command of, to be killed in Afghanistan before I took command.
Oh, we're just looking at those images there. I mean, will that be sufficient? Do you think you will get the funding and the backing?
Yeah, fingers crossed. You know, we're just over getting up to £10,000 now, so we're about halfway there, and it's justgiving.com/Scott Sears. And you know, it goes a long way out there. I was lucky enough to sort of see a lot of the veterans' homes being rebuilt, and it's amazing work that the GWT do out there.
So will you keep going? I mean, we've said that you will be doing it for weeks, but do you just keep going till you cover this whole area?
Well, I've only got basically 50 days worth of supplies, because I have to carry everything I need from the start to the finish. So there's no water, obviously I have to melt all my snow, so I've only got a limited amount of fuel. So 50 days I have to get to the South Pole before I'll have to, unfortunately, pull the pin.
And just briefly, I mean, what will you do with yourself once this is done?
I'm straight back to work like 2 days afterwards, and then we're off to Kenya, and then 1 RGR, my battalion, are going off on operations the year after, so it's busy and straight back to it.